Hey, what is going on, faithful? How's it going? Hope you guys are having a great week. We're just going to go ahead and get right into it with the latest that is going on with the 49ers, probably most notably involving Jimmy Garoppolo. Of course, he's still on the Niners roster as of May 27th, after expecting to be traded following the conclusion of the 2021 season. Now, in a recent interview, 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan told reporters on Tuesday that Garoppolo's off-season shoulder surgery has effectively put on hold any trade talks. So Kyle was quoted as saying, "I expect him at some time most likely to be traded, but who knows? It's not a guarantee. It's been on hold when surgery happened, and when he's healthy, we will see what happens." And Garoppolo, of course, underwent surgery on March 8th and is expected to be ready to begin throwing by training camp next month. Where he'll be throwing, though, remains the question. Whether that will be with San Francisco or another team. Obviously, there have still been rumors that he could be traded to potentially like Carolina. Seattle, is always a team that's going to be linked to quarterbacks.
Because there's definitely plenty of teams out there that need quarterbacks. So I would imagine if he's healthy later on in the season, there should still be teams that would be wanting to have him. He's not an amazing quarterback, but he's at least a top half of the league quarterback, depending on the game. Sometimes a top 10 quarterback. So I'd be surprised to not see him go somewhere. But even if San Francisco was to keep him for one more season, I imagine that they don't want to do that. There'd have to be some contract restructuring. Obviously, I'm sure Jimmy would rather go somewhere else and get paid, similar to how he's getting paid now. But it wouldn't be necessarily bad for the Niners to have him, if it was at a lower cost, maybe. You never know how things will go with Trey. Trey could get injured. It's good to have at least somebody else there.
Absolutely. So one thing to mention, and they're either going to keep him or trade him at this point, because John Lynch has also said that, they don't intend to release him. They think he's too good of a player, and, obviously,
I would agree.
Him definitely doesn't make any sense. So with that being said, I heard recently from somebody on a podcast that said, Jimmy is making like 25 million this season, something like that. So Trey is making, I don't know, I'm just going to say at most maybe 5 million.
Maybe 5, okay, yeah.
Probably at most 5. So if you think about it, the Niners really only have 30 million tied up at quarterback. Now, obviously, usually your starter makes the majority of that money. Our situation's a little bit backwards, especially if Trey's the starter and Jimmy's not. But, I mean, there's teams like, the Packers and the Raiders that are, have 40, 45 million, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, 40, 45 million a season. So, it's not unheard of to pay two guys, 30 million, 35 million a season when teams are paying that. And somebody said that on a podcast, and I started thinking, and I was like, well, that's true. Obviously Jimmy would be, an overpriced backup, but
I don't think there's no way that they can justify paying him the same amount they were paying him as a starter. If Jimmy doesn't get a trade offer, and maybe for half what he's making now, 12.5, something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that would make a little more reasonable sense, because then, or maybe 15 mil, 20 mil between the two of them. But
yeah, I could even see them going with something more incentive based, to where he gets paid 12 to 15 million, but then if he does end up having to come in if Trey gets hurt, and ends up playing X amount of snaps, he can earn more. Because a lot of times you see contracts like that. And as for the latest on Deebo Samuel, who was absent from the OTAs as expected, Kyle Shanahan expects the star wideout to be present at the mandatory minicamp next month, which is scheduled to begin on June the 13th. Although he declined to go into details about Deebo's trade request, Shanahan said that he has a positive attitude towards the possibility of avoiding a breakup with Deebo. And when asked if he, how he feels about Deebo returning to the Niners, Kyle said, "I feel the same, if not stronger. Last time Kyle commented on the Deebo situation was just after the 2022 draft, last month in April, saying that the team fielded a few offers, but nothing came remotely close to what the Niners would expect as far as compensation. So hopefully we can get that deal done. Obviously, It's like Terry's situation. Yeah, absolutely. We're just hoping to get them done. And, obviously they expect Deebo to be there next month. That's June 13th. That's, just a little over 2 weeks away. So hopefully we can get something done in the next 2 weeks. That would be huge. And this most recent situation, this other situation here involving 49ers defensive lineman Javon Kinlaw and Niners beat reporter Grant Cohn, whose dad, Logan Cohn, was a Bay Area sports reporter for a lot of years. Possibly how he got his job, maybe not,
Probably.
Probably. But, he had a heated altercation with Javon Kinlaw, which apparently started from Tuesday's practice when they had a confrontation on, on the side there. And I guess it was reported that Kinlaw knocked off Cohn's hat. And, Cohn has been long. He's kind of an antagonist. I mean, sometimes
he's one of those reporters that looks for the scandal and tries to stir up shit. There's plenty
exactly.
of those out there.
Yeah, exactly. And he definitely hasn't always painted Niners players in the best light. So, several Niners have been reported in the past as being sick of his shit. Eric Armstead comes to mind. He's been harsh on, and sometimes he's got good takes and sometimes he's right, but just, the way he goes about things. I mean, obviously we report, things sport related here, but we always try to be
report on the
pretty
facts.
positive.
We don't have to be a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And basically it started at the practice and then it devolved into Javon, he's doing his YouTube podcast, and I guess Kinlaw calls in and proceeds to, criticize Cohn for his work, tell him to get a real job, tell him to, find something else to do, tell him that he's a joke, that he doesn't know. Kinlaw says numerous times, don't fucking play with me, doesn't know who, and really, honestly, the worst thing.
If you haven't seen the video, I would say just real quick,
Yeah.
if you have not seen the video or the clip of it, you should probably just watch it.
Yeah, just watch the clip. Just watch the clip. And
I will say though, for some reason, Kinlaw is sitting there eating during it, and he doesn't he has food in his mouth throughout the entire time, which is kind of bro,
I was going to mention that was not a good look. That was probably the one thing. I have no issue with
just swallow your food, man, and then keep. Do your statement, but he was right. Everything he said, he's right, man. Those guys, they go about shit in a negative way, and it's just, it's shitty.
I have no issue with how he said it. I think my favorite part was when he was Cohn was asking him, he's like, "Do you think I'm afraid of you, Javon?" And I was like, "Obviously, this guy's afraid of him." It's we know that. He's like, "I don't know." He's like, "But when I walked up on you, he's like, your body temperature dropped 3 fucking degrees or whatever." He said, "He's like, your body temperature was cold as ice."
And he also called him something else that was real funny.
Yeah.
A little dick something. You guys, if you want to see it, go feel free to watch the video. But I'm not going to say it.
Abbreviation's LDN.
There you go. Abbreviation.
Yeah. That's what we'll go with here. But
very funny though. Definitely worth watching. He does. I just wish he had swallowed his food before he went on the rant. But yes, it was good though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but that was pretty solid entertainment for the week right there. And several of the Niners players came to Kinlaw's defense here. I just want to read off a couple of these tweets, and we'll put them on the screen. So, Tabes, our long snapper, Tabor Pepper. This is one of the things that he said in the video where where Grant Cohn said, "No, I got to keep working." So Tabor Pepper puts "No, I got to keep working" in quotes, Cohn's quote. And then he said the faithful can arrange an early retirement if the fan base boycotts your low effort shit posting you call journalism.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was a good one. And then Deebo came out of the woodwork. Deebo hasn't been on social media much, but this kind of showed solidarity. He said, "Nah, for real, I had to block Grant. He do the most for real." So that's Deebo for obviously get the fuck out of here. And then Eric Armstead, who, like we said, has documented issues with Cohn himself. So this is the type of lowlife we get into our building. He would rather antagonize and provoke players into hitting him so he can retire instead of doing his job of journalism. Which is true. It almost seemed like he was trying to bait Javon into doing something.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously not hitting him because it was over a Zoom call or whatever. But yes, like it's same concept though. You're trying to antagonize somebody into fucking doing something where you can be like, "Oh, gotcha, motherfucker." It's like, because it's so easy today, in this day and age. Like it's so easy. Somebody slips up and it's recorded. It's so easy to just ruin somebody over one issue, one thing.
Yeah, exactly. And then just like the last one. Was Ayuk said if you're gonna say something about someone, stand on that shit, don't backpedal and start playing victim. So yeah, obviously the Niners and no discipline is being discussed for Javon Kinlaw. I've seen that some fans are like, "Oh, well, you should be disciplined for that." And I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really think so for that.
I think that the only thing you need to discipline Javon Kinlaw on is a little bit of etiquette on chewing with your mouth closed. But besides that, Javon, just do your thing.
That was
get
the
healthy.
one thing I would say. It's like, come on, bro.
Get the knee healthy, big fella. And to my understanding, he's healthy. He's been looking good out there. So Grant Cohn can fucking suck it. All right, moving on. What else we got here, bud? I lost my place here.
Let's see here. We got last year's second round pick, Aaron Banks.
Oh, yeah. So Aaron Banks has been looking good. He played all of 5 snaps last year. So, really didn't do shit as a rookie because he was still a developmental project. But, like Nick mentioned, second round pick. Just last year. So obviously, the organization holds him in high regard. And the Niners seem confident, at least from what they've seen in OTAs, that he could be potentially our new starting left guard and replace Laken Tomlinson. So that would be definitely
good.
A
you
huge
definitely need that.
Yeah.
Since
obviously
the goddamn Jets took him.
Yeah. Obviously going over there to reunite with Salah.
Yeah,
and the Jets. So
which is cool in its own way, but at the same time, it's kind of like, you fucking son of a bitch.
It just sucked to lose him because when we got Laken from the Lions, dude was really floundering in obscurity and just really not. As a lot of people do with the Lions, and we brought him over, and he'd been a starter for us since 2017. So been doing some good things for us, but offensive line coach Chris Forster. Thinks that he can be our starting left guard, so we'll continue to follow that position battle and see how that goes. Of course, while we're on the topic of offensive line, Alex Mack, our 36-year-old center, didn't report to OTAs and still apparently remains undecided about his future. So obviously, that's a position where potentially
that's concerning.
Yeah, definitely is a little bit concerning, but obviously Daniel Brunskill has been a guy that's filled in at center before for us, so he's always a potential option as well. And who's the other guy we just got from Arizona State? We got an undrafted free. I'm trying to think of his name offhand.
I would not know that one.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't expect you to.
Yeah.
So, we'll monitor that situation. Obviously, if Alex Mack does come back for one more season, that does solidify the position a little bit more. But if he doesn't, then that's going to be an area of need. But obviously, like I said, potentially Brunskill could step in.
Even if he comes back for one more season, it's still going to be a position in need after that. So
exactly. He's
36. That guy cannot be playing. That's what you said. 36 or 34.
36. Yeah, and he's banged up at this point. That's why he's been contemplating retirement.
The man's almost done. If he plays one more season, I'd be surprised at 36. God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's had a hell of a career. Had one free agent signing this week. We signed free agent tight end Tyler Kroft to a 1-year deal. He spent last year with the Jets for playing for Salah. He appeared in 9 games, starting 6 of those games, catching 16 passes for 173 yards and 1 touchdown. So, although the Jets' offense wasn't, spectacular by any means, he's proven before that he can be a reliable receiving tight end. He caught 42 passes for 404 yards and 7 touchdowns back in 2017.
Damn, that's not bad. That's not the most yards, but that's not bad stats at all.
Yeah, exactly. So he's more of a receiving tight end. So he would be, potentially competing for snaps behind, obviously, George Kittle, who's the starter. And he'd be competing against Ross Dwelley, Charlie Warner, and Troy Fumagalli. So those are the other tight ends on the roster. Obviously, Ross and Charlie.
Yeah, be more against Ross Dwelley, I would say, because he's the second best catching tight end you guys have.
Exactly, but even then, Ross doesn't get a lot lot of opportunities.
No, he doesn't.
Blocking.
But
so
the times that I have seen
bringing him in would actually give us. It's like when we had Jordan Reed. Mm-hmm. The only thing that was bad about that is we didn't have Jordan Reed and Kittle on the field for a lot of games together. Like if we could have had them.
If you have the two strong tight end set, dude.
Yeah. So potentially, if we can have Kroft and Kittle both out there, both of them, they both have the K and K.
Yeah, if you have 2 really good receiving tight ends, the third tight end, if you do a 3 tight end set, as long as they're just good at blocking, you're good. Yeah. Like they don't need to catch anything, really. Like
exactly, and you figure that if he ends up making the team, that Ross would probably drop down to the 3rd tight end, and he'd probably be the 3rd tight end in those sets. And
I mean, assuming he can block well, but
yeah,
because I feel like if you got 3 tight ends, one of them at least needs to be blocking well.
Yeah.
Unless you're just trying to, run a route with all 3 of them, but
I mean that's the tight end attack play.
I was gonna say unless they're running the tight end attack. I mean,
yeah, send them all out into the pattern.
God, I love that play, man.
I know you do. I'm aware. But yeah, so we'll continue to follow that, see if he makes the roster. But I mean, he's got a good shot. He's a long-time NFL player. I'm happy to have him on the team.
Yeah, tight end depth is always good. I mean, tight end is pretty much my favorite position, I would say, in football. I mean, obviously everyone likes quarterback, but I don't know. I really like tight ends because there's, you got the passing, you got the blocking. Like they kind of do everything in a sense, at least, on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, it's like a wide receiver and an offensive lineman rolled.
Yeah, they're just really fun to watch, and especially I think George Kittle and Logan Thomas and watching them has gotten me. I mean, George Kittle especially because he's just a goddamn monster. But Logan Thomas he's a beast. I'm so excited for him to be back next season. Oh man,
he's getting better each year he plays too. So I mean, each year he plays at that new position, he's going to get better.
Exactly.
I think he went to the tight end university. Kittle's about to hold another tight end university. He's about to have the 2nd annual tight end U.
Logan better go, man.
Yeah,
he's tall. He's 6'4".
He's a big boy. Yeah. So, last thing that we'll cover here is some great news here is involving Mr. Frank Gore winning his pro boxing debut.
Oh, not football related.
Highlight reel looking.
But kind of
football. What's that?
I said not football related, but kind of football related.
Yeah, I mean kind of, but I mean it's related to the Niners. I mean Frank Gore, yeah. He connected with a highlight reel looking right cross that knocked out Yaya Alaransola, who fell unconscious to the canvas in the 4th round of the co-main event at Gamebred Boxing Saturday night at the Biloxi Community Center. So Gore is officially now in his pro boxing career 1-0 with 1 knockout. He landed a 1-2 combo and then followed it with a second right cross that turned out the lights for Alaransola. I don't even know if that's right. Alaransola, yeah. So he got knocked the fuck out. Yeah, I got knocked the fuck out by Frank Gore is your new name.
Standing tall and fighting until the last second of this fight here.
10 seconds of this fight. Frank Gore looked at the clock. He could get a finish! He just got it! Oh my God!
God!
Real McKnight!
Whoa!
The bout was scheduled for a 4-round contest in the heavyweight weight class. And of course, Gore, most known for his 16-season NFL career. Played 10 years with the Niners. Also played with Colts, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Jets. And had 16,000 rushing yards, as we've discussed, right on the dot. And falls third all-time behind Emmett and Walter Payton. And he hasn't played since 2020 with the Jets. But, he's been training hard for boxing. Of course, first official fight, but he did take place in the exhibition, which he lost, of course, to Deron Williams, former NBA player. Lost that via split decision. So good to see Frank on the winning track. Like I said, remember what we said? I was like, I want him to go have a good accounting for himself, even if he doesn't win, and he knocked him out. So you really can't ask for anything better than that.
Definitely.
So good for Frank. It hasn't been announced if he's got any other plans for any upcoming fights, but if he
I'd
does,
expect
he
him
will
to have
certainly...
some more in the future. I would think so.
Yeah. Oh, he'll definitely have some more, but usually boxers will take a few months off between fights.
Which is good. They should, man. They're getting punched in the face a whole bunch of times.
You got to recover that body. Yeah,
man.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially Frank Gore. I mean, 16 seasons in the NFL. Take your damn rest, dude.
Yeah, take your time.
I think going into boxing personally, if you've been a running back your entire career, is a little fucking crazy. But if you can take it, go for it, bro.
He's also been linked to like the Niners were going to hire him as like a scout. So I mean that's in the works too. We were going to hire him as a scout, but for a front office job. But he's boxing people too. So Frank's got a lot of shit going on.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's really all we've got this week for you on the Niners news update. I mean we'll definitely have more for you as we go through the off-season programs. Let you know how things look. We'll let you know if Alex Mack ends up reporting at any point how the center battles look, and hopefully Aaron Banks can step up like he has been and be our new left guard because when we got him in the second round, you expected big things of him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep, but join us next week, everybody, and if you're not already, like and subscribe for weekly Niners content. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you're not already, make sure that you like and subscribe and follow us on all of the social media platforms, and check out our other video clips, like the Niners news update.
And the Commander's Countdown.
That's right. See you next week, everybody.